know what it was. They didn't know what MMA was. They didn't know what none of this. They didn't know I could make a career out of it. As far as they were concerned, my man and dad I'm talking about. As far as they were concerned, I was just getting into a cage and fighting with some other guy. They didn't know nothing about it. No one did really, but I knew. You know what I mean? I knew. But and then I ended up getting a trade just to keep them quiet. Because I used to have a lot of fights with me dad.
What trade did you get?
I ended up getting a trade as a plumber. Literally up in the back arse of nowhere up in Wicklow, the Wicklow Mountains. And funny enough, that site was one of the biggest sites in Europe, Kiltiernan, right at that skiing place. Huge, and now it's just abandoned. Now it's just deserted. I used to go up there 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the morning. I was on that M50. I used to have to walk to the N4, about half an hour from my house, wait for some Limerick guy that I didn't even know. He'd drive on the M4, and I had to flag him down. Nightmare, yeah. 2 hours down on the M50. 2 hours back, usually 14-hour days, and I was the first year, so I had to go and do everything. I had to go to the shop, I had to go and get this and get that. So I always had trouble with that, and I was like, this isn't for me. This is not for me.
How long did you last?
I lasted 18 months doing it. But it was tough, you know. It wasn't a life for me, you know. And then John said, because I was training with John as well at the time, and then John got in touch and says, I have a show, I'm running a show, I'd like to fight on it. And then that was it. I just packed it in, didn't show up. My dad used to come in and punch the head on me and like try and drag me out of bed. And I just wouldn't go. You know what I mean? I had an uproar for a good few years with him over it. And that was it. I just packed it in, quit, and then focused on training. I knew what was going to happen. I knew I was going to get here. They didn't. There's a lot of stressful years. You know what I mean? A lot of tough times. But I proved them wrong. I proved myself right. I cannot put one thing on it, John. I just love this life that I have created. I love this business. I enjoy work. I don't want to be anywhere else but here. So every day I am enjoying myself. I wake up every day. I pinch myself. You want to see the room I'm sleeping in. You want to see the bed I'm sleeping in. You want to see the home that I am living in. There's an elevator in the home. So I'm on the third floor and I go out, click the button, and it goes from the third floor to the first floor. I open up the elevator and I go and eat some breakfast, and then we go stretch out in the sun. And we have a big pool, a jacuzzi. Look, I'm just enjoying the fruits of my hard work. Gratitude is one of the.
What's going on, family? Good morning, good morning, good morning. Listen, it is another beautiful day here at Coffee and Crypto. 198 episodes, guys. We are 2 episodes away from 200 episodes, and we have an extremely bullish conversation today. I mean, I hope you guys are excited because these are the moments that we literally have been waiting for. Interviews, to be able to hear how people are putting, these utility projects into work, how they're really making this stuff work, and how you can get involved, with these projects and be an early adopter or early investor. You always look for the next best ICO project, this, that, and the third. And I believe that after today's interview, you guys will see exactly why I chose to bring Project Pi up here. Welcome to the call. Listen, if you're live on Twitter, please retweet this out. Make sure you send this out on your Twitter and let people know that we are live on Twitter right now, and also YouTube, and also Zoom, and I believe Instagram. We are live on everything, guys. So listen, sit back, relax, enjoy this personal development, and we are getting ready to bring you all one hell of a show. Please, guys, go out and share this. Telegram groups, Discord groups. Let's go ahead and light it on fire because today's episode deserves it. Let's get it.
Strongest forms of power in attracting good things. If you truly feel grateful for the things in your life, I always felt grateful for even the small things. I always used to celebrate the small things. Now I might be celebrating the bigger things, but I always celebrate every little good thing that would happen to me in my life, even before I had any kind of money or any of that. I would celebrate and I would feel grateful for it, and it just gave me more. And this is exactly the same thing that's happening right now. I still remain grateful, and more comes.
There are 101 ways that you could get clients for your agency, coaching, or consulting business, but
if somebody said to you, you'll have, or you'll be as successful as you are now, what would you have said back then?
I believe you. That's what I would have said. Because I did believe. I believed in it. I had very few people who told me that. I had a small group of people
that would tell me something like that. Other than that, it was just me telling myself.
Yep.
So if someone came up to me and told me that all the way back then, I'd say you're damn right.
I don't know how you do it. You seem immune to pressure. You got an entire nation on your shoulders, and you rise above it once again.
Yeah, I don't just knock them out. I picked around, John. Yeah, I said this. I'm sure you're probably all thinking in your head, this guy is talking absolute dribble. He's not going to do what he says he's going to do. You're probably all sitting there thinking that. But now here we are again. And I done what I said I was going to do. I feed off this. I love this stuff. This is what gives me energy. Saying I'm going to do something. Putting it out there for the world to see. And then going out and doing it. There's no better feeling in the world than that. And it's as easy as that. Say what you're going to do and go and do it.
Welcome to Coffee and Crypto. I'm ready to go, man. This is episode number 198. My brother said that they are ready, by the way. You know what I'm saying? They said they're ready. All right. So, I just wanted to make sure I got that text message. Welcome to the show. I hope you all are excited. I hope you got your notepad and pen, because you got to realize that note takers are money makers. Welcome to the greatest morning show on the planet, where one of our biggest goals this year is to truly highlight some of the top companies that are coming out of the Atlanta area. When Marlon Williams over at the Atlanta Blockchain Center said, Vincent, we have a really big goal here, and it's to, make Atlanta a top 10 hub for crypto. I knew that I knew that I moved back to a special place. I mean, I'm from the ATL, I'm from Atlanta. Okay. However, when I heard the mission and the vision, I knew that it was something that I could get aligned with. And so I'm really excited that, we're able to connect today with one of the projects of many, right? One of the projects of many projects that are being incubated and, launched out of the Atlanta Blockchain Center. Real quick, can we just get a round of ABCs? Because listen, that's easy as 1, 2, 3. Can we just get around the ABCs in the chat box? Because it's just as easy as 1, 2, 3. Welcome in on Twitter. Welcome in on every platform, YouTube. Make sure you all please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also over on Twitter, you can find us at Coffee and Crypto Network. Please make sure you all go and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Check out all our last episodes as we're making our way into 200 episodes. But today, it's a very special episode because I believe it's going to be a great episode for me to learn. I mean, since these guys have sent me a full email, I got a full email of just all types of gems, y'all. All right. And if you're in the Discord group, I'm going to provide y'all with some of these. So just make sure y'all check the We Got the Receipt section. I'm going to provide y'all with some of the content that the good brothers of Project Pi, has, blessed me with. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and bring them up because we got a lot of stuff to cover today. I'm going to go ahead and ask them to unmute, and I'm going to bring them in and add them up here to the front. Welcome to the call, brothers. We have the CEO of Project Pride, Mr. Vandal Calendar, and then also we have the CTO of Project Pi, Mr. Christopher Powell. I appreciate you, brothers, for being here. How y'all doing today, man?
Great. How you doing?
Good.
Fired up. I'm fired up, man. I love that logo too. So I have a question real quick. So the logo with the P, is that a P and the I? Like that was specific? Like that? That's hard.
Yeah.
I was sitting there at the Atlanta chain on Tuesday, and I was looking at y'all's logo like, this is dope. Like I was like, this is like a really your logo to me is like it's like the swoosh for Nike. Like it don't gotta say Project Pi, right? Like I feel like it's one of those logos that can be seen from anywhere and be recognizable. And I really believe that the mission and the vision that you all have will truly make that happen. So definitely appreciate you all. Can we just light it up? Can we drop a Project Pi? I know y'all got a lot of supporters over on Twitter. I mean, Twitter was going crazy yesterday when you all posted about this. So it just got me really hyped to see how supportive, Twitter can really be for a community. So I want to pass it over to the both of you all. You can introduce yourselves. And just if you can just kind of start the call off with just your background. We'll get into Project Pi, but really just each one of you all's background so people can just see that y'all are regular people as well. Maybe not regular. I don't know if y'all are regular, y'all kind of supernatural, but you feel me? Other people can also strive to, become what you all have, achieved. So Floor is yours.
Take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. So good morning, everyone. How you doing? Van, CEO of Project Pi. Born in Maryland, raised in New York, came to Georgia after 9/11. Background in computer science. I was a data engineer at MailChimp, Intuit MailChimp. Worked there for almost a year. I was working hybrid in office and at home. Worked remote a lot at the time here at the London Blockchain Center. I had met Chris here. A lot of funny story that we have about that, but we get into that later. One day I was just working remote. I just told him to come by. He did. He saw I was working on Docker and terminals and just doing Web 2 node infrastructure stuff. And after that, we just ended up creating the business and, here we are.
All right, so real quick, all right, because y'all ain't about to sneak that by. I'm gonna learn on this episode. All right. What the hell is Docker and Terminal 2? And you said Web 2 stuff. So like what when you say Docker, Terminal 2, and Web 2, could you just explain just a little bit about what that means?
Yeah, sure. So infrastructure, we're going to be talking about blockchain and infrastructure and all that. So Docker is basically a way to containerize your applications to make it seamless. So for example, let's say I had an application and it worked on my computer, but then I told you, hey, download this, and it didn't work on your computer. The beautiful thing with Docker is it'll have all the instances or all the necessary things in order for it to work on both computers. So that's what Docker is. Terminal, that's just the thing you see when people are coding and doing the code and all that stuff. And Web 2, again, Web 2, Web 3, I was just working on Web 2 infrastructure for a Web 2 company. Again, it's just a database.
Got it. All right, cool. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yep, and I'm CTO Christopher Powell. My background is in physics. Funny enough, my original background was in meteorology. I love the weather. Always was fascinated with it since I was 3, so about 30 years ago. And that was actually my first interest. I went to college at St. Louis University. I was born in LA, but moved to St. Louis. Most of my family is there. I pivoted, I would say around 2018, 2019. I got into physics and just stayed, basically went to Georgia State University, stayed along that path, took up research in fluid dynamics. So there was like a little even balance between physics and meteorology. But at the same time, I was studying blockchain. I actually was teaching students math at Starbucks. And, I end up finding out about blockchain from a guy that was on a computer. He brought his desktop at a Starbucks, and I went over to him, was like, "Hey, you studying charts?" He's like, "Yeah, I'm studying crypto and stocks." I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. I need to learn more about crypto. I never heard of it." And so he told me about Bitcoin, ETH, and XRP at the time. So
Yeah.
I jumped on XRP first, got into the end of the 2017 bull run, and the rest is history. I studied
Yes.
blockchain infrastructure around 2019, so about almost 2 years later, and just really got deep into it. I ended up studying just not only how the infrastructure works, but also obviously why it's important. And it ended up landing me a few positions. The one that's noticeable is that I used to work for a blockchain company that's based in Dubai called Go Plugin. They are an Oracle company,
Yep.
just like
What
Chainlink.
network though?
It's on the XDC network.
Hey, listen, listen, Coffee and Crypto know about XDC. My people know about XDC. So that's
So,
and that I was excited. I want to talk a little bit more about that, but super exciting, dude. Super exciting.
So yeah, I had built up a following on Twitter. They liked the work that I was doing on Twitter. So then they direct messaged me, and they were interested in what I was doing and offered me a job. So I worked there for about 2 years. Van and I are full time now, so I don't work with them anymore, but that's okay. It's like knowing that everything is falling in place as far as what we're doing and how we're building our personal infrastructure with Project Pi. So super excited about that.
I love it. I love it. You said so many key things, right? But I want to pull it back and scale back real quick. because you talked about something that has been a real big highlight within our community here on the show and within the network, and something that I've really been focused on teaching more about. And I think that it's once you really break down infrastructure to people in a way that is, digestible for them, crypto really becomes more understanding. Like you can really understand the purpose of crypto. But if you really don't understand what the infrastructure, so when you talk about infrastructure behind the blockchain, for me, I look at it as, this is the fourth industrial revolution, right? In the first industrial revolution, the thing that made everybody, the Carnegies, the Rockefellers wealthy, and a lot of these the Henry Fords was really the railroad systems, right? The trains, all of those things, the buggies, and cars, right? And roads. How does that relate to where we are now in the fourth industrial revolution? Because you guys are devs and you really do build infrastructure. So how is this shift? Why is this shift so important?
Well, I personally think it's important because, I mean, like you said it before, it's just knowing that while, those guys like the Rockefellers, they were focused on the infrastructure within the states, and like, for example, different oil companies, they were focused on trying to make sure that they can get the infrastructure built up to be able to take advantage of, let's say, the oil and the previous industrial revolutions. It's the same thing. I mean, we're going into a whole new era of technology where it's Web3, so it's read, write, and own, versus read and write, which is super amazing to take advantage of. But it's going to be to where, while individuals are able to build these specific platforms like we see now, like the Uniswaps and the OpenSeas and the Ripples, I think that infrastructure under, like the layer under, like the actual miners and nodes, validators and such, that plays a key part in the whole infrastructure of blockchain. You think of, I give this analogy all the time. I think of it as, if the blockchain is like your brain, then your nerves and your nervous system, or like the nerves in your body, your spinal cord, that's more like your network. That's like the blockchain network in itself. And the nodes, the infrastructure that people really don't think about, but it plays a really huge part in the body, are the actual nerve cells or the neurons. They're all over the place. Those would be like the nodes of the body, on the blockchain. So it's like when you touch something hot, you're getting signals that are being sent through those different nerve cells or nodes, that's going to send you data to your brain from the different networks of your nerves, right?
Wow.
So it's like, if you don't have any nodes on the blockchain, that means you don't have any nerve cells. You could keep your hand on something and you won't even realize that it's burning, but the damage is done. Now you have second, third degree burns. It's just like that. Blockchains can run without nodes, but they run very clunky. So you want to have the proper infrastructure to be able to build on these, these different distributed networks. And so that's where we come in.
Amazing. So you all are replumbing basically the old plumbing of Web 2 and Web 1. That's amazing, man. Well, I want to talk a little bit more about your project. So you guys have you came together, you both met at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, and I want to shout out John Jackson, because I wouldn't have even known you, Chris, because I know John introduced us first, right? And I actually forgot about that. I ain't gonna lie. And John brought it up yesterday, was like, this is crazy, a full circle moment. You know how you talk, this full circle moment. He was like, y'all, he was like, now y'all doing the interview. I was like, wow, this is crazy. So the Atlanta Blockchain Center is such an amazing community and such an amazing hub in what Marlon has been able to create. I want to highlight the Atlanta Blockchain Center just in this section right here before we jump into Project Pi, because I believe, I mean, Project Pi still would have happened, right? But I know that the Atlanta Blockchain Center had a huge, huge catalyst to that being able to happen. So the Atlanta Blockchain Center, what is it exactly? And, how did Marlon and the Atlanta Blockchain Center team change you all's life?
Yeah, so the Atlanta Blockchain Center is a place where anyone who's passionate about Web3 and blockchain to come to. It's a co-working space, a DAO, and an incubator, incubated by Starter Labs. So you can come here, you can work. We have free Wi-Fi, we have food, we have events every single Thursday, almost for 2 years straight. We went to 2 events, which is Thanksgiving. And with the incubator program, if you have an idea, you just go to Atlanta Blockchain Center or atlantachain.io, apply. If you have an idea, you have, a thought, most people think you already have to have a working product, which is not necessarily true. If you just have some stuff on a piece of paper and you're passionate about it, if it's a good idea, just apply. You never know if you're going to get in. So I always recommend people to apply. And by applying, you're going to be with individuals like us, where you're an entrepreneur, you have a Web3 blockchain startup. We were cohort 3. The 4th one just finished a few months ago. 5th one will be happening, I think, this summer or fall. And you're going to be with about 4 to 6 other startups, solopreneurs, and co-founders. And it's a 7-week program or boot camp where you're basically going back to school, but for business. And you're going to basically be able to get your white paper, your website, your documentation, your tokenomics, everything straight. So once everything is ready, you have those check marks, right? You have what I think is the 3 most important things, your community, whether that's on Twitter, Discord, Telegram, etc. You have your tokenomics and you have your white paper, and of course, a sound project. And if you have those things, even after the 7-week programs, you're still going to be having access to Marlon Williams, Brian Zwarner with Web3 Studios, and a bunch of other mentors to tap into the network to build and grow and foster your company, your startup.
Wow. So that's amazing. So you all, did you start this business with, Project Pi? Did you start this business with a large sum of money out of your own pocket, or how did you get this thing funded? You guys got fly gear, you know what I mean? Like literally, man, hoodies, hats, everything, man. And it's only growing. I'm pretty sure you all be doing your first convention very soon. You know what I mean? Going out there and doing that and really marketing yourself. So that question was, did you fund it yourself, or how did you all receive the funding to be able to launch this business?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we are fully, or we were, but for the most part, we were fully bootstrapped. And what does that mean? We took our money out of our own pockets.
Okay.
We started, our first pre-sale was March 15th through 14th Pi Day. Yeah, March 14th, Pi Day 3.14, utilizing Raspberry Pis. Raspberry Pis are just mini computers. If you come into the Atlanta Blockchain Center, the table, the first thing you see with the glowing little thing, that's custom cluster. Cluster is just the multiple nodes or Raspberry Pis or computers. And that's how it all started. We're in the nifty room over there. We got to talking. 20 minutes later, the original logo, Chris was just drawn out on the board. A few days later, we hadn't, made an entity, and we just kept building and growing and getting prototypes out. We didn't give up. When we first started, we supported a plethora of blockchains, Bitcoin, Gala, Streamer, etc. And then as we started going and we saw the community, and Marlon and everyone was seeing what we were doing, they're like, okay, that's we kept showing up. It didn't matter. We didn't make excuses. We came here every single day. And, then we applied to the Immutable Founders Program. And then that's when we went to boot camp, to where we hyper-focused on one thing, hyper-focused on our community, hyper-focused on one chain, and just make sure we get it right, get good, and get really good at what we're doing. And then once we do that, then be able to get the funding. And then it's so funny, I like to use this quote by Steve Jobs, basically saying you can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect it looking back. And what that means is everything we've done thus far kind of goes full circle. From everything from pitching at Atlanta Web3 out in Georgia Tech against 6 other startups where we had no funding. Everyone else had funding, everyone has a business, and we were out of 30 picked. That was great. one of 50 startups to join Coinbase Systemic Crypto, to come out there in Washington, D.C., pitching on a cruise, going out to Vegas, winning that first place. I mean, we have so many accolades. It's phenomenal. And just looking back of the work that Chris and I have done, just being fully bootstrapped, just kind of just shows how hungry and how consistent and how, manifestation is real. And if you just apply yourself and just execute, half of the battle, shout out to our mentor, Marlon Williams, said half the battle is in showing up. Even if you don't want to show up, just show up, because you never know. But
Yo, maniacal. Like I have a word this year, maniacal, obsessed, be obsessed or be average. Like we just talked about this. I talk about this all the time. On Coffee and Crypto, we have 4 pillars. Pillar 1 is emerging tech. So just really paying attention to everything. Pillar 2 is blockchain literacy, helping people become more literate about the chain. Pillar 3 is digital entrepreneurship, because a lot of people here work jobs, and for people to be able to hear your story, they hear my story, right? They know my story but your story of, you guys working full-time jobs and being able to walk away from full-time jobs that y'all were making full-time money in, to have something now that's your own and you built it from the ground. That is exactly what we exemplify here. And the 4th pillar is leadership. And I believe that one of the biggest things for a leader is that level of obsession, that level of grit, that level of hunger. Like you said, everything you said is exactly what I say. And I mean, obviously, that's why you're so successful, and also, so much more on the way. So great. So understand how Project Pi and how you guys got funded. So you all have already went through one seed round already?
Yes, that is correct. So basically, after we basically built out the company for a year straight, zero funding, just bootstrapping everything, building out our physical nodes, selling those. And after going into the pitches and basically have a product where we're going to be talking about that later,
Right.
we found product market fit. Then we were able to actually start our fundraising round, and we closed the seed round of like a few weeks ago. And we can talk about things too, about like early staking, all of that. But no, it's great to actually see the seed that we planted a year ago is now starting to sprout, and soon it's going to be a tree, and then apples are going to be dropping, and then we'll be able to support those who are in need of help.
Congratulations, bro. So let's push forward to understanding Project Pi a little better, and what it is that Project Pi does. Would you all like me to pull the website up, or can you just want to talk about it without the website on the screen? You can let me know whichever one's best.
We could do it organically, whatever, how it feels. If people want to see it,
I'll pull it up while you guys talk about it. But what is Project Pi? And I know you all have some products, right? You guys have specific products that you offer. I'm just going to scroll through here so people can see, but you guys can go to projectpi.xyz. And when you get there, the front of the page is going to actually look just like this, okay? The future on post chain. So what is Project Pi? What is your utility, your solution to the marketplace? I guess we can just start there.
You want to take it over? You want to take it?
Yeah. So Project Pi, simply put, is an infrastructure-based company. We started with Raspberry Pis. So that's the reason why it's called Project Pi, because of our start. We simply wanted to support originally specific blockchains that they had blockchain nodes, and we would be able to build them and allow individuals to basically make passive income, because certain blockchain nodes do pay out in passive crypto. And so we felt, okay, well, we can actually build up the actual computers that people would need. And, all they would need is their collateral, or the amount needed to actually be able to stake that to the node, and then they can earn, passive crypto. But what we also realized was that a lot of the nodes were on VPSs, which are virtual private servers. So we were like, oh, this is perfect, because what we're doing is we are really like trying to push more of a decentralization factor into different companies that that are supporting these nodes. It's super important to think about, because if everything's on someone else's computer, well, put it this way, I'll give you an example. Amazon Web Services, and ETH, they have a partnership or whatever, and about 65% of Ethereum's blockchain is on AWS. Well, what's stopping the government from just coming in and telling AWS to shut all operations down? That means that a lot of the nodes that are running on, like for ETH, will be gone, right? And while that doesn't necessarily stop the blockchain 100%, it will definitely be devastating for the ecosystem. So we took it upon ourselves to make physical blockchain nodes to where everyone in different regions, if they want to purchase an actual physical device, they can actually still keep the blockchain running and keep everything running and operational. We
So y'all
started.
creating physical nodes, even though you're proof of stake as well. So what are you all a proof of stake? Like is it proof? Obviously, it's proof of stake because you
Well,
also.
the blockchain that we're supporting is proof of stake. When we first started, we were simply supporting blockchains as well as specific Web3 companies that still had nodes, like blockchain nodes on their platform.
Okay.
But then I can't remember who it was, but they had basically told us that we should support developers as well, because developers need these computers to build on. That's how they're able to build these their dApps. So we were like, okay, well, let's also have a RPC, remote procedure call service. So we're able now to support anybody to want to create blockchain nodes and developers that want to use our computers to be able to provide services for them. So we did that. We ended up buying or building it out, and then that got us pretty far, just even building that out. But later down the line, we talked to Marlon, our mentor, and he basically told both of us to really focus on one chain. We basically were in the verge of spreading ourselves too thin. It's always best to master one chain, get good with that, and then expand to other chains.
So I'm sorry to cut you off there, but so you said focus on, because I want to, so you focus on one chain. Focus, I have an acronym for focus. It stands for follow one course until successful, right? So focus on one chain. Can you go a little bit deeper into why that's important? Because you hear so many people talking about multi-chain, right? And things with the EVM, blockchains being EVM compatible, and that being the Ethereum virtual machine. So if you are EVM compatible, right, you have that ability, then how are you focused on one chain? I'm still confused on that, I guess, because I'm not a dev.
Yeah, that's a great question. So for those who don't know, again, we talk about EVM means, Ethereum virtual machine. So Ethereum is the blockchain, and that's a layer 1. And there's other blockchains built on top of it, which is layer 2. The reason why you want to focus on it is because each ecosystem or each community is different. So you have Ethereum based, Optimism, Arbitrum, Pulsion, etc. Now, yes, they're all Ethereum based, but each community is different. For example, Coinbase's new blockchain, I feel like that would be more corporate and more professional. With Ethereum, there's the first blockchain to utilize smart contracts. Potion's a little bit more free. So the reason why you want to hyper focus is because, let's say you're trying to build out a product or decentralized application. You want to cater to the color scheme. You want to cater to the community, and you want to, advocate and kind of like talk like them, right? So if you're trying to build something, you don't be all professional when everyone's utilizing Web3 terms like FOMO, WAGMI, all that stuff. So that's what people mean when you want to hyper focus on one chain and get good at that from a business perspective. Now, from an investor's perspective, you're trying to do like NFTs, buy crypto and hold it. That doesn't really matter, but as long as you understand the narratives of the NFTs, whether this is a meme or not, then you should be good to go.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and then you have to consider just from a business standpoint, like as far as like, or a startup standpoint, like from our standpoint, we are very blockchain agnostic, but the thing is that if one, we were bootstrapped and we were trying to provide support for so many chains, that is
Okay,
definitely spreading ourselves too thin.
absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely, man. Well, well, I definitely I can understand how hyper focusing could be a great thing, especially when you're still in learning mode. You know what I mean? You guys, it's not like you've been in Web3 and blockchain your whole life. You're coming from other ecosystems over. So, are you all full stack developers? I've heard that term before. Are you a full stack, or what does that mean? I've talked to some guys who are like full stack developers before. Would that be what you all are, or what exactly?
So yes and no. So when someone says full stack, that basically means they code and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, that's a front end, and then back end that could also be in JavaScript, Python, etc. Full stack means you use the front end and the back end utilizing databases. I'll just say this. Again, when you're building something, you just don't make excuses. When we first started out, yes, sure, we didn't know what we were doing per se, but we just figured it out. We were in an airplane and building an engine while it was going. You just have
Yeah,
to figure it out. But the thing is, like, you just have to adapt. I wouldn't consider ourselves full stack developers. I just see us as visionaries, creators, and people who just like to build and tinker. I mean, if you want to learn quantum physics, we can do that. Machine learning, we can do that. Not just us, you guys can do that as well too, utilizing tools. People say AI is going to take jobs. I don't necessarily think it's going to take over jobs, at least not yet. I think what's going to take over jobs is people utilizing AI, which is just a tool. But yeah, again, you can learn anything. The internet's here. It's a tool. Utilize it. There's so many resources out there. The last generation, our parents' generation, didn't have the internet like we did, so they were forced to go to school. They were forced to go to the library. I utilized, Gary Gensler's MIT course for blockchain. Now he's being a little funny, but again, everything is out there open. Like,
that's
and
it.
and I'll just say this too, even though I have a computer science degree, I mean, really, they didn't really teach you how to code.
Mm-hmm.
There's two things that you learn. Well, it's mostly math-based, but they taught you how to think and figure stuff out and like build the puzzle pieces. But anyone who says like, oh, a computer science degree is like so great, I'm gonna tell you this: anyone who's a developer is self-taught. You have to teach yourself how to code, and coding is just a language. You're basically talking to the computer to take your ideas and code it and make it digital. That's why I love how you said you have to have that digital footprint. And
Yeah.
Chris always told me too, you need to build your brand awareness, build your digital brand, because if not, with things going on with AI and all that stuff, soon we're not going to be able to tell the difference between reality or not. So build what you're doing now, like beautiful what you're doing with the podcast and just everything you're doing. And thank you for having us on. But
Mm-hmm.
again, I wouldn't consider us a full stack developer. We're builders, man. We're tinkerers, and we're just passionate about blockchain and educating and mentoring people.
That's fire. Hey, what's y'all's word? Sheesh. Yeah. I bet. So let's talk about, because this is what a lot of people are excited to hear about. You guys have the physical node, obviously the physical devices that physical nodes that people can actually set up and things like that. But one of your biggest one of your biggest propositions or is the early staking right now that you can do on post chain. So could we talk a little bit about number one, what is staking? I think people kind of have a general, but we do have some newer people. So want to just give them a quick elevator pitch of what staking is and why it's important for them, because I don't believe you're really in crypto until you at least are staked, because you got to really be like, to me, and this is just my mindset. Maybe it makes sense, maybe it doesn't, but this is how I see it. So I'm gonna share it. So when it comes to staking, when it comes to buying crypto, it's kind of like, you're putting your money in a glorified savings account. That savings account can go up, it can go down, it can stay the same, whatever the case may be, right? We'll pretty won't say it stay, but most part, it'll go up and down. However, I believe that the paradigm for most people is they never go beyond maybe saving money, right? And so I believe when you buy crypto and you just let the crypto sit, I mean, that's a start to wealth creation. But when we're talking about really plugging into Web3, that extra step that you can go is within DeFi with staking and, and earning these rewards. So, can you break that down for us a little bit, bro?
Sure. So we'll get more into well, we'll start from the beginning. We had proof of work with Bitcoin, and Bitcoin being proof of work, you have to use what they call miners to be able to create new blocks and be able to support the blockchain itself. And those miners are earning the rewards. We just had the halving not too long ago, so that cut down the total amount of rewards earned in half.
And we had a big party at the blockchain center too. It was lit.
Yeah, it was super fun.
That was dope.
And so, the miners are participating, they're creating new blocks. The underlying issue with it is that over time, you have some electricity cost and issues that come with mining. So some developers tinkered around and they decided that they wanted to make the core blockchain infrastructure for other blockchains to be proof of stake. So that means that you are basically able to create blocks just from staking, but it's, some have their different quirks or whatnot, but just proof of stake in itself is you're still using computers or validators nodes to be able to create blocks. And in the process, you're able to stake a specific amount of collateral. So for ETH, for example, you need 32 ETH to be able to stake inside of a validator node, and you'll be earning rewards over time. And at the same time, you're supporting the blockchain by creating, creating blocks for ETH and other proof of stake blockchains that use this proof of stake. And so while doing so, you're able to essentially stake or, put aside your capital and let it sit, and you're participating in the blockchain. And it also helps with actually bringing the price of a said asset up, because it's actually being locked into something that is very critical for blockchain infrastructure to run. So the more that's staked, the more, the greater that the asset in itself is going to be increased, because you're putting it into something that is crucial for blockchain.
So that's the TVL, right? That's the total value locked, right?
Yes.
And the higher the TVL, like if you go over to certain resources like DeFi Llama, which I know is a really big resource for the DeFi space. If you go over there, could you really regurgitate the importance? Like, because when you're looking at DeFi platforms and you're looking for staking pools and you're looking for these different, opportunities, are you all looking only for things with a high TVL, low TVL, mid-range TVL? When you're looking, what do you look for yourself? Not financial advice.
Yeah. So it really depends, right? For most people who are in it, I don't want to say obviously, but the higher the TVL, the more safe someone would feel, because that shows, okay, they've been here for a long time or they have a lot of capital locked up. So that means the protocol or blockchain is efficient. So they feel more safe. Now, the opposite side, if something has a lower TVL, that doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. It could just be a new chain or something that just came out.
Right.
So to reiterate, kind of like what Chris was saying, is with the blockchain, with staking, because it's locked up and it's not being traded or out in the market, that's what increases the value, because it's just sitting there locked up, helping the blockchain grow and validating it. But we're going to get on to LSDs and liquid staking later on why that's important in a DeFi paradigm.
So y'all did bring LSD. We are going to get high on LSD today.
Yes, but not that LSD. But
not that LSD though, right? The liquid staking derivatives, right? All right, awesome. Awesome. Yeah. I'm excited because I was hearing, I was watching the video you sent me, and I thought it was funny how she was like, "We could." I was like, "Wow, this is nuts." But yeah, it's exciting stuff. So, before we get into liquid staking, Ethereum had the Shanghai update. And, you know, it was a really big, you know, opportunity. So, what could you really regurgitate the importance? Like, because when you're looking, what do you look for yourself? Not financial advice.
Yeah.
Not that LSD though, right? The liquid staking derivatives, right? Awesome. Awesome. I'm excited because I was hearing, I was watching the video you sent me, and I thought it was funny how she was like, "We could." I was like, "Wow, this is nuts." But about maybe a year ago now or something like that. How did that affect what it is that you all do, and why was that important for the world of staking?
Yeah, that was important because if you don't know, Ethereum was originally proof of work, and then with the Shanghai update, that made it basically proof of stake. You were able to stake your ETH, but it was locked up. You couldn't even move it or nothing. But once the Shanghai update got out, you would be able to take out your assets. So a lot of people were like, I don't know what's going to happen. But after that came out, everything was good. You were able to take out your ETH. And then that's when a lot of liquid staking derivative platforms started to boom. The first one being Rocket Pool, then Lido, and a plethora of others. But yeah, the Shanghai update was very crucial and very important for Ethereum to help with some things. But again, talking about like the energy efficiency of the blockchain now going from proof of work to proof of stake.
Awesome. So I think this is a great merger into LSD, because you took me into the hallway the first time, and you had an amazing elevator pitch. Like you had me sold. We only made it 3 floors up, y'all. We didn't even get to all 15 floors before I was ready to, get me some LSD myself. So with that being said, could you break down LSD? And then also, how is this different? How is liquid staking different from your traditional staking? And I also know that even within that conversation, there are those, there was something you sent me, real staking, where you have like the actual, like a lower percentage that actually makes sense for the world. And then you have these staking platforms where you're making 100,000% in 3 days. You know what I mean? So can we just dive into all of that and why liquid staking is becoming one of the most popular forms of staking?
Sure, I'll let Chris go first, and then anything that I can add on to it, I will, but I'm sure he's gonna knock it out of the park.
No, so appreciate it. So we just talked about staking in a traditional sense where you're able to lock, we'll stick with ETH for this example. You're locking 32 ETH into a validator and you're creating blocks, and because you're creating blocks, now you're earning ETH, for participating, and you're helping the core infrastructure stay running and active.
Okay.
The problem is that it's locked up, right? And so there may be situations where maybe you might have an emergency. You need that money, like you need to actually be able to take it out. Well, it takes at least a day to unlock the ETH that's in the the validator. And even then, it's like you can take it out, but now you're not validating anymore. Now you're not helping the system with actually the core infrastructure of it all. So LSD platforms, or liquid staking derivative platforms, is a way to allow for individuals to be able to still be able to stake and still be able to validate on different blockchains, but they don't necessarily have to keep their assets locked up. There's 2 parts. There's typically 2 parts of LSDs.
Okay.
The first part is validation. And validation, in a way, is like you're essentially allowing for individuals, all participants, or at least participants that are somewhat savvy to create a validator, they're able to create one. So imagine me going to an LSD platform and I'm ready to, validate, and I have my 32 ETH. And then I go on the platform and it says, oh, you only need 16 ETH. So that's one of the things with validation with that side, is that typically the barrier to entry is at least half lower. So you're able to be a validator for half of the price. Imagine 32 ETH right now is what, like 90, 100,000. So
Yeah.
so, imagine being able to be a validator for 50,000, but you also have to have, and most LSD platforms have a collateral token where you have to purchase that and use that, as well as the half 16 ETH, for this example. That ensures insurance for the actual company like Project Pi or any other liquid staking derivative platform.
Is that your wrap token?
It's not a wrap token, but it's our collateral token, PPY or Project Pi yield.
Oh, Project Pi. Okay.
So that's more so the validation part. The second part is the liquid staking part. And so what is happening is there are companies like Rocket Pool and Lido and a few others that they basically were to say, hey, you stake your ETH and we'll give you a receipt asset called STETH or RETH. And this RETH will basically increase over time. More so, it's not necessarily the amount of like normal staking. You'll start to see like a little bit more ETH go in your MetaMask or in your wallet. Liquid staking is a little different. You don't necessarily see an increase of the tokens in your wallet. There's a exchange rate where when the platforms usually start, it's a 1-to-1 pair. So it's like our ETH is equal to regular ETH. But as more validation happens,
Well, it's not a stable coin, but it has like same
no,
principle.
no. It's not necessarily a stable.
I got it.
Yeah,
Just
so it's like more so like as time progresses, the power of our ETH is the same. It's basically our ETH is equal to ETH, regular ETH, plus the protocol in itself. So all of the staked assets that are coming into the platform, that is going to allow for our ETH or STETH, however you want to name the derivative token, the receipt token.
Right. Okay.
That's how it's going to retain its power. But the whole purpose of this is to be able to receive this asset and still use it while the regular ETH is helping other participants that want to validate on the platform to be able to pull together the necessary requirement, which is the 32 ETH, to be able to validate. So the individuals that have 16 ETH can come to the platform, and all they have to do is wait until there's enough ETH on the liquid staker side to be able to pull together the resources to make the validator. And so while
32.
yes. So 16 from a regular user on validation and 16 from the liquid stakers. But this is all a participation of individuals that want to be able to, one, receive a receipt token that will still be able to be used, this LSD token or this liquid staking token. They can still use it in anywhere they want to, as long as there are markets for it. So as long as Uniswap says, hey, you can use STETH or RETH here, and you can make your own pools. People can get into these liquidity pools or whatnot and use this asset, or some other platforms allow you to use it, then you're able to use it. But the whole point of liquid staking is to be able to stay liquid while you're staking. So you're staking, but you're still able to still use this asset in the process. And this supersedes traditional staking.
Oh yeah. 100%. I really love what I hear. And with the liquid staking, now that I understand liquid staking, then that one word at the end, derivatives, is really what gets my blood boiling. Like I get really excited when I hear that derivatives word, because my question to you is, we're thinking you all are futurist. Like obviously you gotta look at the breadcrumbs from the past, right? Like you said, to be able to, but also like you got to be forward thinking, you have to be visionaries. With you all creating these protocols, who is and I want to ask this question properly. I don't want to say future audience, but like what's your audience? Is it retail investors, or is it really institutional investors? And maybe not just Project Pi, but even other liquid staking protocols. Would institutional investors be using these more, or would it be retail? I think y'all get the question.
That's a great question. I'll answer that. And I do wanted to add on to what Chris was saying. You did a phenomenal job. And I think this as well too. So on the liquid staking side, you don't actually need the full 16 ETH. You can stake as much as you want. So for example, anyone here, if you have 0.05 ETH, you can stake that, get your derivative or wrap token, like you said, your ST ETH, or in our thing, it would be ST Pulse. You can use this anywhere you want. It could be 1,000 people add up to the 16 with the no validator, and then that pool will start getting to go. But yeah, for a liquid sticker, you can stake as much as you want and basically get your derivative or receipt token back in order to utilize that in the platform. Now,
Nice.
to answer your question, really anyone and everyone, retail, businesses, the whole point of what we're trying to do is not only help decentralize pulse chain, but really multi-chain, all blockchains in the future. It's for the everyday people, because we know people are going to get priced out. As a bull market comes, the 32 million pulse size needed, or the ETH or whatever liquid staking derivative platform you're utilizing, the price is just going to be outpriced, right? Right now it's 90 grand, but last bull run for Ethereum, you need $400,000 to be a validator. On the liquid staking side, it's like, well, I would love to be to participate, but I can't. That's why liquid staking is huge, because you can just have $10, $100, whatever you have. You can put it in there and start gaining yield for rewarding and basically JVing or joint venture with the node validators. And Chris and I were actually just out in Alabama.
Oh wow, Jay, the joint ventures in this side. That's correct. That's a sick play right there. That's fire. All right, I'm understanding it. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I can speak the business lingo and use metaphors like that as well too, if it helps.
Into that incubator.
Yes, sir. But yeah, so we actually were out in Spelman, in Alabama a week and a half ago, teaching kids and young adults about blockchain, the importance of blockchain, the importance of node infrastructure and pulse chain. And we're just basically telling them, like, look, guys, like we talk about the third to the fourth industrial revolution, it's just everything love that's physical is turning digital, industrial to digital. There's no difference. Just use your skills that you have, whether you're into music, art, real estate. It's all going to be applicable and be able to apply it to blockchain. Retail investors, cool. Students, cool. Big businesses, cool. We just want to help support anyone and everyone who is interested in blockchain, interested in node infrastructure, and we just want everyone to be, get a piece of the pie. No pun intended.
Facts. Yo, no pun intended. That's fire. I have two more questions. My next question is, and we kind of this conversation has been amazing, because it just has been just really flowing properly. What is Pulse Chain? And it's a layer one. Why did you all choose to build on Pulse Chain rather than another chain for what you all are doing?
That's a great question. To just be very blunt and brutally honest, because it's new, we were fully bootstrapped, and it would be better off for us to be a small fish in a small pond than a small fish in a big pond.
Absolutely.
But not only that, at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, the Pulse Chain community. Oh, and to answer your previous question, Pulse Chain is just a fork of Ethereum. It's literally just like Ethereum. It's actually helping with the gas fees and all that. So you can actually utilize Ethereum to do your transactions and everything like you would on Ethereum on Pulse Chain. But to answer your question too, this is why I actually like Pulse Chain, because again, they're very community based, and most blockchains are. But with them, they're doing a plethora of ROL events where they're actually touring the country, educating people in Pulse Chain. They actually came to the Atlanta Blockchain Center last September, and we were actually able to present our physical nodes and RPC services that we're having. They really like what we're doing. So we were like, okay. And then that's where the hyper focus came in. And then we went to Cabo to pitch on a cruise to present on the cruise the MVP of our liquid staking derivatives platform. So a lot of people don't know this. On that cruise, we didn't have fun. We were working, we were building. We built out the website that you saw, the tokenomics, everything. We presented it. And the thing that got me, which was really interesting, was, after you talk or present something, people would say, good job. They said, congratulations. I was like, man, I don't know what that means, but, just thinking forward, I guess that basically means we have something here, and they see we're hungry, we're grinding. We weren't having fun. We had one day of fun, but our fun is building and, trying to make something. And like you said, generational wealth, and just helping everyone out here, especially individuals that look like us.
That's amazing, bro. I love that. Last question I have is this, personally. Now, this one might be for Chris, but I think but because I know Chris has a special place for XRP in his heart, and I do as well. Now, this is my question, Chris. With XRP, be a great chain for the future for LSD projects to build on. And the reason why I ask is because I saw that derivatives at the end, and Ripple is the only blockchain company that's a part of the ISDA, which is the International Swaps and Derivatives Association. So, you know, if I don't know if that's the same thing, dealing with liquid staking derivatives and, you know, the regular derivatives in our space, other market, but do you see XRP being a great chain for projects to build LSD projects on? And are there already projects on XRP Ledger that maybe we could invest into like that, or XDC or anything like that?
So it's possible. It'll be fairly difficult though, because the consensus model is a little different. You know, it's not proof of stake. It's Byzantine fault tolerance. So it has essentially the creator or one of the creators, David Schwartz. He said no incentive is the best incentive, and he believes that. And so that means that the node infrastructure on XRP doesn't pay out rewards for helping the blockchain. So if it doesn't do that, then it will be very difficult to actually be able to create liquid staking on XRP. Not impossible. I'm sure that would be something that would be made from, I feel like someone that already has like a well-developed company, they have like billions of dollars or whatnot, that are willing to want to make something like that, you know. But the closest thing I would say is Flare. And funny enough, there is a company that is building liquid staking derivatives on Flare. I think it's Kinetic something, but yeah, they're about to create it. So, you know, because, you know, Flare is EVM compatible, and you're able to receive Flare through validators. So it only makes sense that somebody eventually was going to do it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's just something came in my mind because I think about looking at the word liquid, thinking about liquidity, derivatives, thinking about, you know, one of the solutions that Ripple brings, but just a hard pitch. But no, man, listen, I honestly, I'm overwhelmed. I got a whole look at it. I got a whole lot of reading. I've been writing. I got stuff to go back here because y'all said the 4 things that you need to be a successful, and it seems like y'all have it. You have a sound product. You have an amazing community. Obviously, you have your white paper. You know, did we talk about the tokenomics of your particular project as well? Did you all share that part about tokenomics?
We didn't. You can look at the tokenomics at docs
on your website, right?
Yeah, we stick with the moniker 3.14 or 314 million tokens. That's going to be the total supply of our token. And, you know, again, thank you for having us on. We could talk a lot more about what we're doing, but and we still can. But I know you probably have other stuff to do. But hope to see you later today at the Atlanta Blockchain Center, because again, we do have events every single Thursday. So if you're in Atlanta, please drop by. We're here. You know, we'd love to talk to you. And if you'd like to learn more about Project Pi, please reach out to myself, Van, or Chris. And yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank y'all so much, gentlemen. I appreciate it. This has been amazing and really eye-opening, but what I would say interview, mainly because I've been very interested in getting more into staking, and to know that there is not just one type of staking, but there are other options for people to actually choose from to best diversify for themselves. Because I guess it's really based on your own goals, right? Of you know, when it comes to staking and stuff. So make sure you all go and do your own research. Where can they find you all on social media? How can you know, everyone connect with you? And then we'll get up out of here.
Yeah, sure. So you can follow our Twitter at Project Pi, PI314. Likewise, Van, that's my personal Twitter. Chris13, that's his personal Twitter. Instagram, also Project Pi 314. And if you just look up Project Pi anywhere, you can find us on LinkedIn, all that other stuff. We're here. Again, thank you for having us. And if you're interested, you know, go ahead and buy some Pulse early stake. We'll be out in Testa in about 2 weeks. Super excited for that. And thank you again for having us.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So with that being said, family, thank y'all so much for tuning in to the 198th episode of Coffee and Crypto. This is Vincent Owens. We just had an amazing interview with Project Pi, the good brothers over there. And really wishing you all the best of not even luck. You don't even need luck, but just the best of blessings, because y'all have something that is going to I believe really change the trajectory of the way that I would say people in our community, even Black and brown people, look at the space of staking. Because man, like, I'm gonna be transparent with y'all, brothers. Like, when I first saw staking, and I saw the way that like crypto.com introduced it, the way that, and you gotta do that lockup period, and then you can't even trust these exchanges. So like, you got your money locked up on an exchange. And that was my very first introduction to staking. But to know that it's evolved so far since 2017, since we've been in the space, is amazing. So guys, make sure you all continue to tune in, subscribe to Coffee and Crypto. Please follow Project Pi, and I will drop all of the information at the bottom of the YouTube video for you all to go and follow everything, their website, all of their pages. So with that being said, guys, 198th episode. Thank you all so much, and I will see you all at the beaches and the banks of the world. Peace and blessings.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.